Absolutely everybody in the game right now has just unlocked Commander Luke Skywalker, and he is still a dominant force in the game, usable in every single game mode. But if you are a new player to this game, you're probably wondering, how do I use him? How do I mod him? And that is what I'm going to answer for you today. Just a little bit about the CLS Optimal team, what the modding looks like, what the Zeta priority looks like, and potentially a couple of teams of where you should be using him against. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to work. And just a little side piece, those of you that watch my collaboration video with Star Wars Pappy Man Nooch Too Good himself yesterday, you will know that I was doing a giveaway with courtesy of Meathead, Community Manager Extraordinaire. That's right, we are getting 5 winners today of Velsartha. I had to remember her name then. Of Velsartha. I will be announcing it in this video. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, 5 lucky winners will get a 5 pull of Velsartha. So make sure you stick around for that. And if you are not already subscribed to this channel, looking out for future giveaways for marquees, that is money in your pockets, ladies and gentlemen, then what is wrong with you? Hit that sub button right now. Hit the bell notification so you know every single time I'm putting out a video, and then you will have your chance at winning shards as well. Good luck, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty, Roo, here we are on the Scribbles free-to-play account. Now, I went through and did all the journey quest guides to help me unlock Commander Luke Skywalker. If you haven't done it already, you will see it in quests under journey guides. I will put a link to my video up in the top left corner. If you need some guidance, if you need some help on how to get it done, go ahead and check that one out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so if you have done that journey quest, you will be able to create yourself a Commander Luke Skywalker team. Now, I say this, you might not have every single piece of the Commander Luke Skywalker pie necessarily, because he does require a little bit extra to make the optimal team. All right, so first and foremost, if you're looking for a CLS team, there is a predefined optimal team. First of all, CLS always goes with Han Solo. All right, Han Solo is a beast, lots of damage output, has got an amazing Zeta, which allows him to take the first turn of battle, and nothing goes faster than Han Solo, apart from one thing. I'll say what that one thing is in a second, but I want you guys to have the opportunity and tell me, what is the one thing in this game that goes faster than Han Solo's ability to shoot first? I'll give you a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. It's actually very simple. It's actually a faster Han Solo. The only thing that shoots faster than Han Solo is Han Solo when he's got more speed. Next over, we've got the legendary unit Chewbacca. This is not the OG Chewbacca for the game necessarily, but the original trilogy Chewbacca. This guy is unlocked by doing his legendary event. Requires you to use bounty hunters. Now, if you haven't unlocked him already, he is an easily unlockable legendary unit, provided you've got 5 bounty hunters that can go into his event. Now, if you haven't done it yet, we are going to have another set of Lightspeed tokens in the very near future that is going to reward us with 5 bounty hunters, and they will absolutely destroy the Chewbacca event. So don't worry if you do not have him yet, you will be getting him very, very shortly. Okay, apart from that, who else is also part of the key team? It is once again Chewbacca. And 3PO on the back. So this is Backpacker, 3PO, Chewpio, however you want to call this particular kit. He adds so much additional damage output to the team, it's not even funny. He adds so much to the team, okay? So absolutely you do 100% want to have Chewpio in your squad, all right? He adds AoE blinds, massive amounts of AoE damage, additional assists whenever rebels take any sort of ability. Really, really powerful. And finally, you might know who this last rebel is. It is C-3PO. C-3PO's event, he is a legendary unit. He is unlocked by using Ewoks, ladies and gentlemen. And that is actually a really easy event to do now. In the past, nightmarish. At the moment though, all you really need to do is have Nisa at like gear 11 and she more or less solos the entire event. At this point in time, if you want to be pushing for Galactic Legend Leia Organa, who is probably the best GL in the game, you have to get a number of Ewoks up to Relic 7 and 5 and 3, basically, and Nisa is one of them. So you will be getting C-3PO as part of your journey to get Galactic Legend Leia Organa, or if you want to get something like, I think it's Luke Skywalker, as in Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker. So you're going to be getting C-3PO. You need C-3PO, and his optimal team really is within a CLS squad. He adds a lot of cooldown decreasing, lots of assists, as well as exposes on the enemy team and controlling turn meter, and decreasing cooldowns on your side and increasing them on the enemy. So this is your optimal team, all right? Han Solo, Chewbacca, Chew-PO, and C-3PO is the perfect team. Now, if you don't have, say, C-3PO, there are some replacements that you can throw on the team in the short term. Most notably, you can use someone like R2-D2. If you don't have Chew-PO, you can also use Old Ben. This team still works perfectly fine, it's just not optimal. You will see a massive increase in capabilities once you have gone ahead and put together the best team. Like I said, you want to have C-3PO and Chewie, and then you want to get C-3PO. I apologize. So this is the team that you are going for, all right? Ideal CLS is what we will call it. Now, where can you use these guys at the moment? There's a number of places, particularly in-game modes like Conquest. These guys are dominant, all right? Being able to attack at the start of battle oftentimes gives you a massive edge. Certain data disk setups within Conquest also really lean into the benefits of a CLS team. Anything that's got like ruthless acceleration, I think it's called. It's whenever you drop an enemy below 100% max health, you will gain turn meter. Ruthless offense, whenever you drop enemy below 100% max health, you gain offense. And things like, is it blindside, where if you attack out of turn, you apply a exposed to the enemy. Anything like that will work so well with the CLS team. Really helps being able to stun an enemy at the start and take the ball to them, you know, get the ball rolling straight away. When it comes to PvP, there are quite a few things that they can beat in 5v5 and 3v3, but you're not really going to be beating Galactic Legends unless you've got a massively powerful Datacron. The last set of Datacrons that we had with, well, not the last set, the set before last, where CG basically gave us perfect Datacrons. We had the attacker ones and the support ones and the tank ones. That is very powerful with a CLS squad. But don't take my word for it. Let's go to an impartial adjudicator for this sort of thing. Let's talk about swuggo.gg, looking at insights for the CLS squad. Now, I've just filtered this by what has had 100% win rates or high win rates for a CLS team. Now, Phasma isn't really a threat in GAC 5v5, but being able to take out things like Mandalorians, not sure why this person had Armorer in this team, kind of ruins the whole synergy of the team, but whatever. Also, teams like Adrad, great win rates over here. Mon Mothma, great win rates over here. Sortie teams, great win rates over here. What else have we got? Bad Batch takes down Bad Batch, able to take down things like Keller and Beck lead with both Jedi Knight Anakin and Ki-Adi-Mundi. Able to take down things like Again, why are you ruining your Mandalorian squad by putting in Padawan Sabine Wren? Able to take down Ewoks. And that is probably justice, truth be told. Bounty Hunter teams taken out, more Mandos that are ruined. Saw Gerrera teams, that's pretty high value, I'd say, being able to take out Saw Gerrera. Standard Bounty Hunter teams with Zam, most likely that had the Zam Omicron as well. More ruined Maul teams, Dash teams. Dash teams are useful to be able to beat. Afra teams in particular, very useful to beat. Imperial Troopers, very useful to beat. You know, there's plenty of teams here that they can beat relatively well, so they do have a lot of space in the game still. Even though their use has dropped off a little bit, they used to be absolutely dominant, but they still have a lot of use, right? As well as being able to take into things like TB and get through some of the special missions, not special missions, the combat missions there. In particular, I'm thinking of Zepho, the ones with the bounty hunter mechs. They're able to clear through that with the correct approach. They're a good team, is what I'm trying to get to you guys, all right? They are a good team, worth investing in. Now, let us talk about modding. There is a little bit of a nuance when it comes to the modding of this team. There's kind of like an optimal way of modding and then an acceptable way of modding. Generally speaking, you want the team to be relatively fast across the board and you want to have good damage. But also what's really important is to have a high level of tenacity on this team to stop you getting any debuffs. In particular, with Chupio in the team, he's got this really, really good unique over here. Let's read it. If the allied leader is a non-galactic legend rebel, 3PO and Chewie gains 40% of the leader's max health, max protection, offense, defense, potency, and tenacity at the start of the first encounter, okay? And rebel allies gain half that amount. That includes the leader, by the way. Rebel allies also have 15% additional crit avoidance, which is nice. Chupio is obviously going to assist, dealing 30% less damage whenever an ally uses an ability, which is really, really great. And if they were defeated, 3PO and Chewie is going to revive at 50% health whenever another rebel ally is revived. That doesn't really ever come into play. You're not really putting this guy in with any other sort of reviving mechanics, at least not right now. Maybe in the future we'll see another rebel lifter. Don't know, but it's nice to have, right? So the fact that if you have a lot of tenacity on your team, he's able to then spread that to the rest of the team. It will prevent you having things like ability blocks and buff immunity and dazes and shocks and stuns and all that good business, okay? Really, really important. Now, you do get a number of sort of immunities, I will say, through Chewbacca and his loyal friend unique. He essentially will, at the start of battle, apply this effect called Guard to Han Solo, only the raid Han, right? And then the weakest other ally, okay? You can see it over here, weakest other ally. What does Guard do? It means you cannot be critically hit, you cannot be dazed, and you cannot be stunned. You also have 25% additional critical chance. It is a very, very good survivability mechanic that's baked into this team. So you don't have to worry about blanket immunities and lots of tenacity for everybody, of course, but it is nice to have. It keeps the team rolling if the enemy can't do anything about it, all right? So let's talk about modding. I've prepared myself a little document to run you through, and I'll have an infographic for this that is available on my Discord. If you want to get access to it, there is a link to my Discord down in the description. Please do join me. Come have a chat with me and the rest of the tribe. Become part of the family. Okay, so let us start with CLS himself. What are we looking to do? Now, generally speaking, you want to have this guy have a lot of offense and a decent amount of tenacity, because he's then going to share that tenacity and that offense and max health, max protection, and all that good business with Chupio, who is then going to disseminate it a little bit wider throughout the rest of the team. So generally speaking, I'm going for an offense set over here and probably a tenacity set. You don't have to do this, guys. You can also go for an offense set and health set, or offense set and maybe a crit chance set, whatever you feel like running with or whatever you have available to you. Now, I will give you just a couple of stats to run through this with, all right, ladies and gentlemen? Let's talk about some brief stat targets now. So generally speaking, you want to try and get CLS around 300 speed. Now, obviously, if you're using an offense set, that is going to be a little bit hard for some people, depending on how deep your mod roster is. But this is kind of the goal that you want to get to eventually. Around 300 speed, around 9,000 offense would be nice, and about 80% tenacity would be an okay place to be in. All right, this sort of setup will let you deal good damage, let you take multiple turns, and have a good chunk of tenacity to spread to the rest of the team. You can go with a crit damage triangle if you want, or you can go for more survivability, probably protection more than health. It gives you a better protection pool overall, and he is actually able to recover his protection when he uses his call to action ability, his second special. So it's very useful to have in general. Let's talk then about Han Solo. Han Solo, very, very useful guy himself. He is going to be, particularly when you've got him at relic levels, he is going to have enough crit chance to always crit, basically. If he's taking a turn, if he's hitting someone, he's going to be critting. So generally speaking, you want to try and use a crit damage set more so than an offense set, because the fact that he's got 100% crit chance basically means he's always going to crit, so you're always going to guarantee that extra damage from a crit damage set, right? This means that you do want to pair it with a crit damage triangle as well, ladies and gentlemen. And I've just thrown a health set on there. You definitely do not need a crit chance set on this guy. He has got plenty, and he passes crit chance up to the team. It's going to be okay. All right. Health set will give him a little bit more survivability. You could also go defense set if you want. Honestly, defense is a wonderful, wonderful stat, and Han cannot be crit. so it just makes him a little bit harder to kill. All right, so what are we thinking when we're looking at stats? Stats, you want him relatively fast. 280 speed is good, as much offense as you get. I'd say in around 9k. This is for around Relic 7, Relic 8 Han Solo right now. And crit damage is the main thing. Get him all the way up to 240% if you can. That's usually done with decent enough levels of Relic investment and a crit damage set with a crit damage triangle. You're probably going to want to have that offense primary on the arrow. On the cross, sorry. So the reason we go for high levels of speed is more turns is more good. But also, if you happen to be doing a mirror match, Han Solo is the only person that's going to shoot before Han Solo. All right. So when it comes down to that, the Han with the fastest speed actually takes the first shot. And if you're mirror matching, which a lot of people are going to be doing now that everybody's getting CLS, the faster Han gives you a massive advantage. Generally speaking, you want to go ahead and stun Chewbacca. Chewbacca is the main target here, so when you're mirror matching, if your Han is faster, you can stun their Chewbacca. If you stun their Chewbacca is no longer assisting and dealing additional damage to your team and placing tenacity down and all that sort of good juicy business. Capiche? Good. Alright, moving on next then. Chewbacca, ladies and gentlemen, max out that tenacity. Now, Chewbacca himself does not get guard, alright, so he can be stunned. He can be ability blocked. He can be critically hit. All that good business, all right? Having him at high levels of tenacity will mean he's always going to assist. He's always going to gain bonus turn meter and stuff like that through the CLS leadership and all that good juicy business. That doesn't necessarily mean you don't want to give him any damage. So looking at speeds again, once again, around 270, 280 speed is good, as much offense and tenacity as you possibly can. If you can get him over 100% tenacity, you're going to be laughing. Don't forget that Chewpio is spreading more tenacity to the team based on CLS's tenacity, so it's all good business. Next up on our list then, ladies and gentlemen, is gonna be Chewpio. Once again, triple tenacity sets if you can manage it. These sets and Chewbacca sets, you don't have to do this. This is just what makes it the most reliable version of the team, in my opinion. If you want, you can actually just go for a fast speed set, fast offense set, anything like that, and chuck a bunch of damage on there. That will still work. I just find if you can get that nuance and get that high levels of tenacity over there, it really adds to the survivability of the team and lets them actually counter things that they can't normally counter. Let's talk about stats then. Once again, 280 speed, 8k offense or so, and about 100% tenacity will be good. Obviously, the higher you can push all these numbers, the better this team is going to perform. Finally, we have got C-3PO, ladies and gentlemen. What are we doing with C-3PO? Similar sort of approach. We're going for a tenacity and potency setup. We want to make sure that he's going to resist debuffs so he doesn't get shocked and dazed and stunned and all that good business, but we also want a bit of potency on C-3PO. C-3PO does land things like exposes confusion, as well as landing things like turn meter stripping on his basic. So having a level of potency on him is going to be useful. He's actually quite tanky, generally speaking, and he stealths a lot. So he's not necessarily going to be the enemy that gets killed first. So, stat targets for my boy C-3PO, if you can get him to about 270 speed, over 120% potency and 100% tenacity, and you'll find yourself with a really robust team that is landing debuffs and constantly applying. Apologies about that, I had a quick call. Yeah, so this sort of mod setup will put you ideally placed to take down as many teams as possible. Wouldn't necessarily say this is a defensive team unless there's a very powerful Datacron in circulation at the time. However, there is a little bit more nuance to a CLS team than just, hey, let's throw on the best mods and hope for the best, right? We do also want to talk a little bit about the Zeta priority, okay? Because this team is laden with Zetas, lots and lots of Zetas on this squad, all right? So it can be a little bit overwhelming. Now, people that have done this journey quest for CLS will actually have a Relic 0 CLS with all his Zetas, and that is such a massive benefit because it is going to help you long ways with getting this team off the ground because CLS's Zetas are actually really good, okay? However, just for context and in the future, if these journey quests are not available to everybody or you've missed it or you've already invested or yada yada yada, whatever it happens to be, I'm going to put down what I consider to be the most important Zetas to have, all right? Alrighty, so the first and most important one in my opinion is CLS's unique Zeta called It Binds All Things. This one is really useful. So first and foremost, whenever Luke resists any sort of detrimental effect, any sort of debuff, he is going to recover 5% protection. Now, of course, that's going to tie into all of our modding, lots and lots of tenacity on this team, so lots and lots of resisted debuffs, which then means protection recovery. Not only that, if Luke inflicts a debuff, he is going to gain 10% turn meter, and half of that amount is going to go to his rebel allies. So he's going to gain 10% turn meter when he inflicts a debuff, and his allies are going to get 5% turn meter. This is really valuable against any team that has like tenacity up or has it can't be debuffed, like a Padme team, for example. If they've got bonus protection, you can never land a debuff against them, which means you are just constantly generating turn meter. If Luke has also got guard from Chewbacca, that means Chewbacca will assist every time Luke uses an ability, and then that's going to have Chew-P-O assisting as well because he's a rebel, so there are 3 people all doing attacks at the same time. Lots of turn meter gains, everybody just basically benefits. It's a really, really good Zeta. The next most important Zeta is going to be Han Solo's unique shoots first. Now, this isn't the one that lets him shoot first, but essentially what this does is it gives him some additional crit chance, and whenever he uses a basic attack, he attacks again, dealing 50% more damage. This is useful for a number of reasons, but, you know, one is just straight up damage, right? Other than that, he's able to strip turn meter from the enemy, and with Chewbacca putting that tenacity down, you're basically guaranteed to have that turn meter strip. If they are above 50% turn meter, that's great. But also, if they're not above 50% turn meter, he does 75% more damage, and he also can't miss. So this is just like a pure damage adding Zeta. Really, really valuable. Putting that double tap on the basic, and that happens for every time he does a basic, is really, really powerful. Okay. So after that, we're going back to CLS. Now, again, this shouldn't matter to everybody that's got the Journey Speed, Lightspeed token. You'll have all of them anyway, but it's going to be our wonderful Learn Control unique. Basically, Luke's second special allows him to switch forms, basically, into call to action or not, right? So when he doesn't have call to action, this Zeta will essentially allow him to have 50% additional critical avoidance and 100% additional tenacity. This is the default state that he starts in, right? So think about all that tenacity that he's got, that we've modded him for, add 100% to that, add an additional 50% crit avoidance. If he has also got Chew-P-O in the team, Chew-P-O adds 15% additional crit avoidance, meaning it gets really hard to crit him. If he resists a debuff from all that extra tenacity, it means even more good things because he's going to increase his recovery, 5% protection recovery on top of everything. It's a very useful one to have here. Straight after that, we have got his Leadership Rebel Maneuvers, still a very, very useful ability. Whenever an enemy resists a detrimental effect, all of your Rebel allies are going to gain 5% turn meter. So if they happen to just constantly resist, lots of turn meter looping. Now, this is actually really, really useful if you want to counter a Padme team. All right, this works in Conquest as well. Because essentially when Padme has got protection up, they will always resist debuffs. Even if they've got tenacity down, they'll resist it. But what that means is, if you've got Han Solo and you've got Chewbacca and you've got Chew-P-O, you do any sort of ability, and they are all going to start assisting and all this sort of good business, and Han is going to shoot twice, and all the debuffs that they do on their basic abilities will get resisted unless they are unresistible, like tenacity down. And that's going to mean you generate enough turn meter to essentially turn meter loop on a lot of teams. It's a very, very useful Zeta to have. Next up, we're going over to Chewbacca. Chewbacca's loyal friend Zeta in particular, not his other one, Raging Wookiee. Raging Wookiee is okay, but it's probably a skippable Zeta all in all. So what does Raging Wookiee, loyal friend do, not Raging Wookiee? Basically, whenever Chewbacca deals any damage to an enemy, Chewbacca and all guarded allies are going to recover 3% health and protection. Now, keep in mind, any unit that is guarded, Chewbacca will assist, all right? So that just means there is going to be 3 units on the field that will recover 3% health and protection every single time Chewbacca does any damage, all right? So CLS has got it, he does a basic, that means Chewbacca assists, they're both dealing damage, recovery. Recovery, 3% health and protection. It's only a little bit, but this sort of thing is really useful in GAC because it keeps that recovery topped off. It can help you recover your banners, even from like a point of death. So this is really useful in the context of GAC, but also in surviving battles. Anything that is long drawn out battle that you need to slog through, it's a very useful Zeta to have. Next up, we're going to the other Chewbacca with the other 3PO. Chewbacca's Rage, or Chewie's Rage, it's on his second special. this is a massive damage dealer. It's kind of like a final nail in the coffin kind of ability. Essentially, with this Zeta, that ability goes from dealing damage once to dealing damage up to 5 additional times for each enemy that's been defeated during the battle. So if you're in a 5v5 battle, you're going to, say you've defeated 3 of them, you're going to do 3 additional instances of damage. Really, really useful. I believe because of the wording of this, it's during battle. It means in battles like TB, which have got more and more units, but also more and more phases, this damage should stack over, right? Obviously, it only goes up to 5 times, but very, very useful against a Geo team. You know, like more enemies that get defeated, the easier it's going to be to deal more damage. This thing, when you're on like a 5-on-3 situation, you've killed 2 of their enemies, all of a sudden doing that extra damage on this hit, and it does a lot of damage, trust me, it's going to mean that you actually clear the board, and then the next time you use it, it's going to do more damage again. Really, really good. And finally, for me, the last Zeta that actually means anything is going to be on C-3PO, and this is going to be on his first special. Oh my goodness. What this does, basically, is it increases the number of stacks of confusion that you use on the enemy when you use that ability, right? Confusion is a very, very good debuff, and once they've got to 3 stacks of confusion, that's where all the fun happens. That becomes a lot easier when you've increased this, or you've added this Zeta. Now, you could not apply this. Honestly, it is probably kind of skippable, and I will say the same thing for like Raging Wookiee and stuff like that. It's probably skippable, but it is very useful all the same, as once they get to 2 stacks, enemies can't assist, they can't gain bonus turn meter, and Galactic Legends lose counter chance and stuff like that. All right, so it's useful to get there, and it helps you get to that triple stack, which means whenever C-3PO does a basic against them, it actually increases the enemy's cooldowns. It's a useful ability to have. You could probably skip it if you really were tight on Zetas. I will say, anybody that's done Journey Quest, you are 90% of the way there. Get that hands shoot first Zeta, absolutely phenomenal. Get the Loyal Friend Zeta, and try, if you can, to get the Raging Wookiee Zeta, not the Raging Wookiee, Chewie's Rage, and you will be absolutely set for this team. It will be ready to go ahead and drop houses on people. Okay, anybody that wants to have this little infographic is available on my Discord server. Links, like I said, in the description down below. Go ahead and check it out, download it. Come chat with the tribe, come chat with me every morning. Every morning with my coffee, I have a chat with my tribe. All right, let us get over to the most important part of the show now. We have got 5 winners to pick for Vel Sartha Shards, courtesy of Meathead Extraordinaire. Let's get to it. So let's get 880 responses, my lord. I might need a coffee for this one. Okay, right, let's get down to business. First and foremost, I'm going to have to make sure all of these are uniform over here. We're going to find what is a dash, and we're going to replace it with nothing. Replace all of those. Amazing. Is there any other kind? Does people put in X's? Somebody saying, thanks, Scribbles, I love you. I love you too, buddy. I love you too. All right, let's get rid of all that. Good. There's spaces. We need to get rid of spaces. We need to get rid of X's. Okay, so let's do this. Find and replace. We'll get rid of spaces and we'll replace all of them. We'll find X's and we'll replace all of them. No matches found. But what about this? This is an X. How dare you tell me there are no X's? Try that again. The horrible X's. Get rid of them. There we go. It didn't like it the first time round, but the second time round was the winner. Oh, what's this one? That's not an ally code, but you tried. You did try, so I apologize. We'll get rid of that one. Anybody else with weirdness in their life? This guy has got some weirdness in his life, and that's okay. Anything else? We've got more weirdness. We've got stars as well. You're all stars in my mind. Let's get rid of the stars. Replace all of them. All right. Anything else? What? We've got dots. Everybody's got their unique way of displaying their ally code, haven't they? I appreciate all of you for getting down to business and giving me your ally code so that you might win. Also, I don't know what that is. We'll have to get rid of that one as well. That's not an ally code. I can't help you. All right, I think we're okay. So the next stage is we'll grab all of this. We're just going to paste this in here. I probably should have inserted a row above. Ally codes. And now what we're going to do is we are just going to format this data. And we are going to clean up the data and remove duplicates. I want to see how many people have tried to put their ally code in more than once. Place your bets. How many people have tried to duplicate their ally code? 39 duplicates. You guys are naughty. Naughty 39 people of you. All right. Ally codes. Grab. Let us go to spin the wheel. All right, I'm not going to lie, that's a little bit overwhelming, but here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's grab our first winner of the day. Win the Spiels. Something is weird there in the middle. Why is that one purple? I don't understand, and neither do you. All right, let's see. Our first winner, 183893523. Let's see who that is in-game right now. Who is our lucky winner? First one is Xaereth, Warriors of the Dune Sea is his guild, and he is a 4.86 million GP player. Congratulations to you, Xaereth. You will be getting some Velsartha shards. Next winner, remove. We're going to go ahead and grab another winner. Spin that wheel, baby. Spin it good. Spin it quick and spin it hard. Okay, seriously, what is this one so purple? It's distracting is what it is. We've got 181-415-2771 or something like that. Who is this? This is Duboy from some rando guild, brother. He's got 2.985 million GP. Well done to you, Duboy. You're the boy. All right, next winner, please. Let's go for it. Got 3 more winners to go. 3 more winners to go. What's the purple line has disappeared? Is it just me or is the purple line gone? I think it has gone. All right. Who's our last winner? Our next winner. 384-256-437. Ladies and gentlemen, come on down. It is trash. Utter trash from Vanguard of Disorder. This guy doesn't need a giveaway. He's got 14.5 million GP. I'm kind of curious to see. Oh, he's only got a 4-star on the old Velsartha. So yeah, I guess we'll let you off the hook. Vanguard of Disorder guy, Mr. Trash. Trash bag himself. Congratulations, Trash. Remove you from the list, and away we go. Come on, give me something good. Give me something long, give me something hard. What? That purple one has come back again. It's not just my brain, is it? I swear I just see that one is overly purple. 137-866-417, ladies and gentlemen. Let's grab ourselves another winner over here. It is Elated Zebra from Bobatron. What a great name for a guild. 2.3 million G-penis over here. Rocking the Keller and Beck with the Padawan, Obi-Wan, Master Qui-Gon Jinn, GMY, and Shaq T. Can see some Lightspeed tokens. Been doing some good work over there. Congratulations, Elated Zebra, for your wins. Remove you from the list. And our final winner of the night, will it be you? Probably not, but it might be. It might be. Our final winner is 212-531-436. Congratulations to you. It is Psycho Ren of the Guild of No Fear, an 11.2 million G-penis player who is probably a really swell individual. Amazing. Right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up today's video. Congratulations to our 5 winners. I will send your details on to Mr. Meathead, and he should be sending you gifts of Velsartha shards in the very near future. I hope you pull a 330. Everybody at home, please do give this video a like. Make sure you are subscribed. Hit that notification bell, because I do giveaways, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm giving you free stuff. Do you know what free stuff? Who loves free stuff? I'll see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.